go. Here's just a quick aside. Tomorrow, Dr. Swadron is going to be speaking on the approach and management of massive GI bleeding. Here today, what we're going to talk about more is simple Linton tube pearls and pitfalls. So what you're looking at is gastric varix, and it's just bleeding out. It's just kind of amazing. You just want to watch and see what happens. Like, think to yourself, what is taking this person so long to take care of this? It's like, why are you taking a video of this? Look at that. I mean, like, I almost got it. This isn't looped. Seriously, this is like straight up video. It's like, how long is this gonna go? Seriously, massive transfusion protocol, anyone? Anyway, so really quickly, we have several assortment of tamponading balloon therapies that are available to us. On your left, you have the Minnesota. On the right, you have the Saint Steak and Blakemore. But today, we're going to talk about the Linton tube primarily because at the several institutions I work at, this is what we have, and it's also simplest. It's hardest to mess up. It's a single balloon Linton tube. So you have the patient intubated, protect their airway, then you put this in orogastrically, and you inflate it. But when you read the package insert, the key thing to remember is that the Linton tube has a balloon that you need to fill up between 700 and 800 cc's of air. That's one of the common things that a lot of people tend to forget. It's a lot of air. But before you actually fully inflate it, of course, you need to confirm its placement, right? Because you don't want this to happen. You see that? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's just say this person died. And you can see that the patient had the balloon fully inflated inside their esophagus. And I don't know what just happened. But anyway, oh, great. Here, moving on. So you want to confirm confirm the balloon placement inside the stomach itself. This obviously is a fully inflated balloon, but you want to inflate it about 60 cc's of air before and shoot a bedside KUB in order to confirm its placement. 60 cc's is less than 10% of what that full capacity balloon is. Well, it's not the full, but the recommended capacity that you want to fully inflate. So sometimes it gets a little confusing. Am I looking at gastric bubbles or colonic air? I mean, sometimes it's all full of air in there, and it's hard to tell where exactly is the balloon inflated is in the right place. What's useful is try 60 cc's of gastrographin, the oral contrast, the water-soluble contrast. Put that through the balloon port, and it'll clearly tell you where the balloon is. Is it below the diaphragm, or is it in between, or is it above? It's a quick little tip. As far as we're talking about, when the recommended amount of air you want to fill the balloon with is between 700 and 800 cc's. So if you use a 60 cc catheter tip syringe, that's 12 times that you have to keep track of. And we practice this many times, and even if you practice it very well, it takes a good few minutes. I mean, between 3 and 5 minutes to fully inflate, and you have to keep track of it in your mind because the problem is that the balloon port isn't one way. So if you let go of it, it goes. Yeah, that's what happens. And if you lose track of it, remember, this balloon is inside the patient, so you can't see how inflated it is. You have to start all over. 1, 2, 3, and so on. Once it's fully inflated, another quick tip is that we recommend to actually pad the hemostats or Kellys with a little bit of gauze when you clamp it off permanently, just because the last thing you want to do is if you clamp it off too tight and there's a lot of tugging going on or rips, gets a little bit torn, then you have to completely replace it, and that really sucks. Finally, how do you actually tie this all up? You need traction about 1 kilogram, so you can use a 1 liter normal saline bag. We all know that, but how do you actually tie that 1 liter normal saline bag to the tube itself? So the standard thing is you use a Kerlix gauze, right? So you can use a roll of that. What you do is you do the luggage tag ties. So you unfurl it, you loop it, and then you actually put the loose ends through the loop. You can see that right there. And as I pull taut, you just take the loose ends, grab a pair of forceps or Kellys, and then you can actually thread that through the eyelet of the normal saline bag. And then once you actually thread that through, you just take both of those loose ends together, hang it over an IV pole, and then tie it off. So it's as simple as that, okay? A cool thing, this is more institutionally dependent, that I found really useful, at least with what we have, is the cardiac monitors, those strips, you can actually, they're gummed together, but you can actually strip one of them, separate it out, and then just cut it, and then you can thread that through the eyelet on the Linton tube. So the Linton comes with an eyelet, and you can thread the other end through the normal saline bag. And it's very, very tight. The tensile strength is a lot. And so you can just hang that over the IV pole and call it a day. And it saves you the worry of like, oh, I don't have Kerlix gauze, or am I going to use a suture or whatnot. So remember, in closing, 700 to 800 cc's of air is what you need to fill that balloon with, and it's not a one-way valve, and it takes a long time to do it, and you have to keep track of it in your mind, because otherwise you're just going to have to start all over again. Thanks.